This is the East Cleveland Classic, the first round of British cycling's Open National Road Series, where Fred Wright famously grabbed his first pro win at the 2023 Nationals and Ethan Hayter won his own striped jersey last year. Bike racing has become ingrained in the winding climb of Saltburn Bank over the last few years, with multiple national champs held here and the annual National Series events. On paper, the course doesn't sound too difficult. 26-kilometer laps with 162 meters of climbing, doesn't break any records, but ask any of the riders and they'll tell you it's one of the hardest races on the calendar. The circuit has almost no flat road and constantly goes up and down with a couple of really steep spikes that sap the energy from your legs. It's no surprise that a rider like Fred Wright went well here. The race favours a strong rider with excellent stamina that can soak up the fatigue and still have enough left for the final surge to the line just after the summit of Saltburn Bank. As expected, a flurry of riders attacked on the first lap, but the race flew up the first descent mostly intact. Wheelbase, Tap, Foran and the other big teams all had sniffs at the front as they looked to place riders in the day's breakaway, either to anticipate and get ahead of the race or to fight it out for victory themselves. By lap 2, the race had already started to explode in the strong winds and a group of 14 was formed at the front of the race. At least one jersey from all the big teams were in attendance, as well as Sodo riders Adam Lewis and crit legend Matt Bostock from Tekkers. The reigning series champion George Kimber also made it across, and they started to stretch their advantage over a scrambling peloton. With a breakaway this large, having a single teammate included isn't necessarily a good thing. This was clearly visible with Raptor Factory Racing, who had Alex Franks up the road and 2024 winner Rowan Baker stuck behind. Even if you're the strongest rider in that break, the amount of variables that are in play make the chances of winning very low, especially as other teams were represented with multiple riders. This meant it fell on Raptor to chase, burning crucial matches in the process. It quickly became apparent that this job was too big for those willing to chase, and what was left of the peloton fell to pieces with small groups littering East Cleveland. The chase fractured and it became clear that the win would come from the early breakaway. When the riders realised this too, the cat and mouse games begun, with attacks being thrown at every possible opportunity. It was in the best interest of individual riders to whittle down the group as much as possible to balance the advantage that larger teams had. At the same time, Wheelbase Cabtech, Castelli and Muc-Off SRCT used their numerical advantage by sending riders up the road and forcing others to chase. As the fatigue in the group increased, a few riders succumbed and dropped back, but it was mostly intact, reaching the 6th and final lap. Finally breaking the elastic, Tom Martin and Adam Howe launched with 15 kilometers to go and were soon joined by Kimber. They quickly extended their lead to well over a minute and rolled into the base of Saltburn, ready to fight it out for victory. Not confident in his sprint, Howe decided to make the climb as hard as possible and launched as soon as the road kicked up. Martin was quickly gapped, but Kimber wasn't braking and the two drifted into shot, neck and neck, matching each other pedal stroke for pedal stroke. The pair crossed the line with exhausted bike throws, unaware of who had won. After checking the finish line cameras, Adam was announced as the winner and the leader of the National Series, just a few weeks after his first National B victory at the Peaks 2-day. Kimber can be pleased with his ride and looks to be one of the favourites for the overall series once again, but can Howe hold on until the end? Diving into Tom's and Adam's data reveal exactly how brutal this race can be. The Wheelbase rider normalized 381 watts for the full thing and Adam's 640 for the 90-second sprint to the line. Bonkers. Thanks for watching and supporting the British scene. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more race highlights.